The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
All right, welcome in, guys, to a Hoop Ball presentation. This is the Hoop Ball Celtics Podcast. You can follow us on Twitter for show drops and updates at Hoop Ball Celtics. I am the host, Patrick Lounsbury, Celtics enthusiast. You can find me on Twitter as well at Ballin Opinions. That's BALLINOPINIONS for anything Celtics related. The Celtics today welcome back Jason Tatum after missing last game due to an illness. Not COVID related, but fall short as the Bucks come away with a 121-119 victory as Daniel Theis just missed a three-point shot with 1 second left in the game. I will be going over some of the good things I saw in this game, some of the bad, and some final thoughts as well. Just going to hop into some of the good things we saw in this game. At the 9:55 mark of the first quarter, I thought Smart did a good job of displaying his playmaking ability by drawing two defenders and dumping off a beautiful pass to Daniel Theis for an easy two-handed flush. Something I've always loved about Marcus Smart's game is, and something that I feel has always been overlooked, is his ability to pass the ball and his basketball IQ on the offensive end. He's a good enough player, especially on the defensive end, but on the offensive end, he has a lot of things that he does for the Celtics. And also, I just wanted to highlight it with him being in a lot of the trade rumors of how important he is to this team, what they rely on him for. He puts this team on his back as far as organizing them on offense and defense vocally. So hopefully, if they do end up parting with Marcus Smart, they're getting back somebody who can fill a playmaking type role. But I'm not 100% sure how that's going to go down. Theis also had a crazy block on Giannis at the 8:41 mark of the first quarter. He just stood with him, made sure he stayed shoulders, lined up, played good defense. Giannis went up, and he blocked Giannis, and Giannis came back down with the ball. They ended up doing a jump ball out of it. Daniel Theis stayed nice and solid. Thought Daniel Theis did a good job defensively tonight, especially in that situation in the first quarter. Jaylen Brown was off to a pretty hot start. 14 points in that first quarter. Getting it done in many ways was getting floaters to drop, really attacking the paint, getting easy layups, getting into the post, catching over the top of his defender and getting some easy buckets. Was also able to hit a couple outside shots, so real nice start from Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum, on the other hand, had himself a slow start in this one. Thought, that was like a per usual thing for him. He's at times been able to be a lot better on the offensive side in the beginning, but tonight he just was not. He was not doing it. He was not cooking it. He finished the game off, though, 7 of 19, so 18 points, 8 rebounds. He did have 5 assists, which was nice and encouraging. Then he had Kemba Walker and Marcus Smart with 6 assists as well. So just the starters were really getting the ball moving around and causing more open looks, and that's a big reason why I think they even had a chance in this game was their ball movement has been really good as of lately. They just really have a lot of defensive things to fix. Robert Williams was having a lot of good moments in this game. His activity in the first half, he was fighting for offensive rebounds and getting putbacks, getting easy buckets. That's what you need from him. The hustle plays. That's, abuse him with the athleticism. Prove him, he's 6'8", but he can jump out of the building. He was really good around the rim, able to get those second opportunities, helping the Celtics kind of stay within, because, the Bucks did not miss shots, it seemed like, in the beginning. They were just hitting a variety of looks from beyond the arc, and it wasn't just like one person was killing them. It was everybody was hitting jumpers. So in order for Boston to really keep up with them, they had to really take advantage of second opportunities whenever they missed. And I thought Robert Williams did a good job at fighting for those. Boston was taking advantage of the Bucks getting more loose with the basketball in that late third quarter as they get easy transition opportunities. The Bucks really had a big lead, and I thought Boston did a good job just staying with it. Bucks kind of took their foot off the gas, and Boston didn't play. Celtics went back in transition. They got some open threes and started hitting shots down, finding some rhythm, and they clawed themselves back into the game. And next thing you know, they're able to have a chance down the line. They had a really good run in the third quarter, 16-3. Rob Williams was making the Bucks really pay because they decided to sit Robin Lopez and Giannis during that stretch. So you can just imagine how fast Bud finally was like, you know what, 16-3 run, yeah, I'm calling a timeout. So that was the big reasoning, I think, for them calling back. Was it seemed like the Bucks played with their food in a sense of letting Boston come back from 25 points down. That's a huge 13-point swing. You know, you get Boston back within 12 points going into a fourth quarter, and that's a lot more achievable for a comeback than being going into a fourth quarter with like an 18, 20-point deficit. So I thought the Celtics did a good job of just staying with it and trying to find it. I thought Kemba Walker was also great in that third quarter comeback. He had 14 points and 6-9 from the field. He had really a very bad start of the night, but he finished off actually 9 of 18 and had 23 points and those 6 assists. Was 5 of 9 from deep. So I thought Kemba Walker turned his half around from the first half extremely well. He wasn't great in the beginning, but definitely turned it on in the second half. Celtics started to hit shots, cause turnovers to give themselves a fighter's chance down that stretch. But ultimately, Daniel Tice had a look at with 1 second left, and it just went in and out. I did think on the play he should have not faded. He had Brook Lopez was closing out pretty aggressively and probably would have fouled Daniel Tice had Daniel Tice just went straight up and really landed normal. And who knows what would happen there. You know, maybe you get 3 free throws. Maybe since you're not fading, the shot goes down. I'm not sure. But ultimately, he fades on the 3-point shot, misses it, and Celtics end up taking that 121 to 119 loss. That's as far as some of the good things go. I will shout out Jeff Teague played really well again, back-to-back games. He played 17 minutes. He used 5 of 7 from the field, 3 of 4 from deep, and 15 points on the night. Did a good job there. Jaylen Brown was solid overall, 24 points, 10 rebounds on 10 of 16 shooting, 4 of 7 from downtown. Celtics played relatively well tonight and did a lot of good things. The starters all got into double digits. But ultimately, I think the offense of the Milwaukee Bucks was just a little too much. And going into some of the bad things, I wanted to point out that I thought the perimeter defense for Boston was an issue early on. I mean, you gotta find a way to slow down the Bucks early on, and Milwaukee was just really hitting everything. So the best way that you need to do that, you gotta challenge the Bucks and play more up into guys, cause the Bucks to work more. The Bucks went 5 and 10 from the 3-point line in that first quarter, and their first 6 overall 3-pointers of the game were all from someone different. There's no way you should be letting a team get that comfortable. I understand that, you know, they're moving the ball and everything, but some of these shots were just like the defender just wasn't into them. You got to get up into them, make people feel uncomfortable, make them drive, make them press the issue. There's no way that all of them are able to drive past, you know, and get to the rim with ease. Make them go into the paint and challenge Robert Williams or Daniel Tice. Like, I love to see that the Celtics just get more up into guys. I thought they were playing a lot soft on the perimeter, and I thought they could have really initiated a lot more aggression. So hopefully moving forward they can get the aggression going. Kemba Walker had a rough start. First 10 minutes of the game, he had 0 points. He was 0-3 from the field and had a turnover. But as I spoke in some of the good stuff, he ended up turning that around, which was really good. Bucks were seemingly working harder than the Celtics in the late of the second quarter, where the gap really started to get big. They were just getting every offensive rebound, every loose ball, all those 50-50 plays. The Celtics didn't have that hustle, it seemed like, and they were getting out hustled a lot by the Bucks. You got to show the energy. I think that's just the intensity. There were some points where I just felt the Celtics defense was very flat-footed and not committed to getting stops. And that's just not acceptable. And you're going to put yourself into these deficits of 25 points if you continue to have that type of intensity on the defensive side of the ball. So hopefully that's something that can clean up. There was an injury to Semi Ojeleye. He left the game after he collided with Drew Holiday in the second quarter with what is being called a left hip contusion. So that's something to monitor. We'll be monitoring that as we move forward. Still no, no Tristan Thompson tonight due to COVID-related reasons, protocol. And also no Romeo Langford still. Aaron Nesmith did not play tonight. Coach's decision. So we saw only 4 minutes of Peyton Pritchard, 17 minutes of Jeff Teague. We had 20 minutes of Rob Williams, 19 minutes of Grant Williams. And all the starters played over 30 minutes. Tatum with the most at 38. Smart at 37, so it's nice to see him off that restriction. Smart really struggled, though, from the field tonight. 3 of 13, 2 of 10 from deep. Only 12 points. He did good with the assist, but this was a shooting night where he probably should have stopped shooting. I know a lot of his looks were really clean and open, and Marcus Smart has been known to still like turn it on after having a bad slumping night. But, man, 2 of 10 from downtown is definitely a tough pill to swallow, and could have used some more production out of him. Maybe if he was more aggressive trying to get to the rim and maybe draw a foul or something, get some points at the free throw line, that would have been really nice as well. Speaking of the free throw line, Celtics were pretty good they were 10 for 10. They didn't miss one free throw, 10 shots, 10 makes. And then you had the Bucks over here at 14 out of 20, so they doubled the amount, put more pressure on them as far as free throws went. Celtics players need to get back on defense. There was times in this game that they had felt that they got fouled, and even if you did get fouled or you didn't get fouled, it doesn't really matter. But the fact is, like, if you're gonna complain, you better have your complaint, but try to address it during like a timeout or a loose, like an out of bounds, inbound pass or something, because they be complaining a lot of the time, and there's moments where they complained and a shooter was open on the other side and they give up a 3-pointer, and that's just something that's not acceptable. The defense is already bad enough, and then having somebody starting to complain and not get back on defense, giving up easy buckets, is just not going to win you basketball games. And there's a few moments tonight that the Celtics did that. I thought Kemba Walker showed a lot of frustration in not getting some calls, which is surprising for a guy with his type of personality. Jason Tatum, per usual, seems to always have something to say to the ref as far as not getting a call going his way. Jaylen Brown is not so much tonight, but he can at times. So just take the initiative of some calls are going to get called and some calls aren't. And they got to get back into that next play mode and not let the fact of a foul being called or not called affect the way that they get back on defense. I thought they need to take a better initiative of just hustling back and what can they do to make up for, that foul not being. You can always keep pushing the initiative and force the refs to eventually make that call. But they're not going to sometimes they're going to miss the calls. They're human. That's how it is, and if sometimes you didn't get fouled and you thought you did. So Just get back on defense. I hate when people sit there and cry to the refs. It's one of the reasons, and I love Luka Doncic as a player, and I think he has an incredible feel for the game. But on the other hand, is sometimes when you watch him, it's just he is over there crying to the refs for calls, and I'm starting to see a lot of that in some of the Celtics players lately, and it's just like, come on, let's all right, cool, didn't get the call, get back on defense, work hard, get the ball back, and make something happen. So Celtics gave up 70 points in the first half. Jeez. And Giannis only had 4 points. So you're not going to beat the Milwaukee Bucks if you're not going to hold them to within a reason. 70 points in the first half. That's insane. Like, you just don't win basketball games that way. That's just not how it's going to end up falling for you. The Celtics had 59 first half points, which is really good. But the fact that you went into half 11 points down because you gave up 70 is very concerning as far as your defensive goes. I felt like the Bucks kind of took their foot off the gas in the second half, but the Celtics still gave up 51 points in the second half, to whereas they really turned it up and went and got themselves 60 points in that second half. So outscored the Bucks by 9 points in the second half, so they did good there. What's it called? Thought the Bucks opened up the third quarter on a 9-0 run to extend that lead to 20 points. That was, you got to coming out of a halftime. You should have a game plan to execute better and play better on defense. So after giving up 70 points in the first half and opening up the second half with a 9-point run against you is just concerning. Like, what's going on with the defense? Is the game plan not working? Are we not putting the energy forth to do it? Are we not executing? Just a lot of big red flags and concerns, and this is kind of how the season's been with these inconsistencies. And watching the Celtics is, where is the identity of this team right now? This team, the Boston Celtics, used to be a team that's normally in the top half of the league in defense. This year, we're not in the top half of defense. So I don't know what has drastically happened as far as, like, even their starting five doesn't seem to be playing defense at a high level. Are they just being asked too much on the offensive end that it's taking a hit into their defensive productivity? I'm unsure, but all I know is that the defense definitely needs to clean up. I thought frustrations were getting the best of the Celtics in the first 6 minutes of that third quarter. Really getting irritated in general. Weren't really engaged, man. They were just letting their emotions bother them and really drag out, and that's when that lead went all the way up to 25 at one point before the second part of that third quarter. The Celtics started to rally together and start coming back. Also thought Grant Williams was getting attacked on defense at times. He had back-to-back possessions. One of them was he got blown by, easily blown by. Like, no one dribble past him, boom. And then the other one was a 3-point shot by Middleton, and he fouled him. It was just a very bad. You gotta let the shooter land, and he got right in the space. So Grant Williams at times is sometimes really solid. I thought he had some good moments down the stretch in the fourth quarter, but there's also times that you're just hoping that he makes that extra step in his development process and is able to really take advantage of his minutes and be more productive, especially on the defensive side of things. We need him to be better on that side of the ball, especially coming off the bench. So, but that just concludes all the bad things we saw tonight. Overall, Celtics came down, played well enough to give themselves a chance and take advantage of the fact that the Bucks kind of played with their food a lot in this one. That Daniel Tice Celtics had 3 opportunities in that last, few seconds of. I don't think anybody scored. What was it in the last minute and 45? No points by either team. So Celtics had a chance multiple times to take that lead or even tie the game, and just wasn't able to execute down the stretch. And that's something I wanted to go into in our final thoughts is Celtics are just continuing to struggle in late game situations, and I don't know if that's, what is Brad Stevens running in those situations? Are the defenses just too tight and the Celtics aren't be able to get good looks? I don't know. It didn't seem like the Celtics were executing well down that stretch, and they haven't been great in the fourth quarter. And that's just so weird because with Brad Stevens, that's always been like an MO, is like his teams have always been able to finish out games relatively strong. I mean, we had those seasons especially that come to mind with Isaiah Thomas, and fourth quarter IT was big shots, and able to execute, get open looks, and really finish off people. And then you had the Kyrie Irving days where he'd go into his finishing back. Do the Celtics not have a closer right now? Is Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown or Kemba Walker not closers? It's starting to become more of a narrative of they're not able to execute down the stretch, so it's more concerning over time. I know Tatum has shown glimpses of it, but maybe he's still a year or two away from really getting comfortable in close game situations to close it out. I'm unsure. So just some thoughts on maybe the Celtics need to find who is the man in those final minutes moving forward. Go into some trade deadline expectations as we come up on the trade deadline before the next Bucks game. Celtics have been rumored around guys like Aaron Gordon and Evan Fournier. I know there's been reports of maybe Marcus Smart and 2 first-round picks for Evan Fournier and Aaron Gordon. I would hope that if we give up Marcus Smart, I'd rather not. I think if we can get one of those guys without including Marcus Smart, it would be a hit for us. But we definitely need a wing or some type of shoot, another leg person who can fill up the stat sheet as far as scoring goes to help us on the offensive side. Because if they can relieve a little bit more from our scorers right now, maybe we can get more out of Jason and Jaylen defensively if they're not as worried about carrying so much offensive load. Also puts a little bit less stress on the defense, and we get more depth. So looking to see what the Celtics really add. I've also liked the idea of maybe if the Celtics were to consider a George Hill, who is a veteran, who can still score relatively well, still have playmaking ability coming off the bench, just a good bench piece. I don't think there's a move out there that's super alternating that's gonna be like, wow, yeah, the Celtics are championship contending favorites, blah 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 blah. I don't know that move is necessarily out there. I know some people want the Celtics to kind of go after like a Vucevic and I don't know if how much the asking price is on Vooch right now, but I don't think that he is leaving Orlando. I think Vooch is going to end up staying in Orlando past this trade deadline. I do think the Orlando Magic will have their fire sale of Aaron Gordon and Evan Fournier. Just a matter of which one goes where, or they might end up both on the same team. Who knows? Hopefully Boston's able to get at least Aaron Gordon. I'd like that one. If I had to choose out of those two, I would definitely pick Aaron Gordon. I wouldn't mind Evan Fournier I think Evan Fournier is averaging around 19 points per game this year. That's more than Kemba Walker. That'd be third highest on the team. So it would be really nice piece to add, especially because you probably will be able to push Marcus Smart to the bench and run the second unit with his playmaking. So Some other names that have been tied to Celtics. It doesn't look like the Kings are interested right now of moving Harrison Barnes, and doesn't look like Detroit is interested as far as moving Jeremy Grant, which are the two other candidates that I would really like on the team. As far as any other people target-wise for the Celtics, yeah, I mean, it'd be cool. I like the idea of Lonzo Ball, but I don't know if Lonzo Ball is really as available as New Orleans has made it seem. I thought when they made him available, he was not playing great, and ever since he's been playing really well. So I feel like he's upped his asking price for him, and I don't know if any team's going to meet that, especially the Celtics, and I don't even know if the Celtics are even really looking at a player like that. So it will be interesting too to see after the trade deadline of who can't get traded. Maybe there's some buyouts, and that might be something for the Celtics to explore, is the buyout market. I'd wonder if maybe they consider trying to get like a LaMarcus Aldridge or Andre Drummond type player would be a reassuring piece for the Celtics, just to add for an extra boost in the bench unit and everything. But yeah, just a lot of interesting ways to go about there. But before we wrap things up, I just wanted to let you guys know to please go and give the show a follow at Hoop Ball Celtics on Twitter. Hit the subscribe button, rate and review the show. If you can find me on Twitter at Ballin Opinions, BALLINOPINIONS. I can answer anything Celtics related. Just tweet at me. And that's pretty much it, guys. So thank you guys so much. I will see you guys next episode as we welcome in. Oh, not even welcome in. We'll be visiting the Milwaukee Bucks again for a second game in 3 days, and hopefully the Celtics can pull out something out of this one. And we'll see you Friday after the game. All right, and we'll be talking about trade deadline. All right, bye.